without fear, without trying to change my ways, yeah. Walk without fear, without loving myself, oh yeah. Walk without fear, if not living my truth every day. Heart to heart, talk to talk, when everything seems to fall apart. Say heart to heart, it's time to talk.
Hey,
that was a nice little.
I know. I like that.
That did ease in there
really. I like that. Welcome back, ladies.
Did welcome back.
Did y'all miss us?
They did.
Yeah.
Per usual.
Y'all
Missed us. Hey.
So, guys, we are live for the first time. We're a little nervous. Well, not the first official time, but you know. These are our friends. Welcome to the den.
Hey friends.
Welcome. We want to start off actually by saying thank you. We've been getting amazing feedback.
Yes.
The growth has been amazing.
Yep.
Yes. Shout out to Podcast Suite. Mark is amazing here as well.
Y'all need a studio, definitely Podcast Suite.
This is the place to be.
Come on.
Be sure to follow us on all social media platforms, Twitter, YouTube. We're going to start going live on YouTube as well. And make sure you like our Facebook page and go into our group.
Mm-hmm. Meet us in the den.
Asking for a friend.
It be going down in the den.
It
so
does.
if you haven't been in there, make sure you get in there.
Please.
Let's see.
Y'all be asking stuff in there too.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, our last episode, which was spirits, auras, energy,
Yes, ma'am.
with Christian.
Yep.
It was good.
It was
Mr.
amazing.
Yeah.
Mr. Christian.
Mr. Christian. Sorry,
Christian.
don't get
Hey,
all
Christian.
live cutting on me.
Follow him.
Yes.
Yep.
Also hit him up in his DMs. He do amazing readings as well. Let's get in today's episode.
Let's do it.
Well, before we do that,
Okay.
I know y'all noticed that one of our members is not here today.
Yeah.
Yes.
Her name is, Sarah, Sarah J, whatever y'all want to call her, right?
We love you, girl.
Yes.
We do.
Everybody just keep her in their prayers. We all go through things. We all experience different stuff in our life. So all I am going to say is the Lipstick Den is asking for y'all to pray for her and her family.
Yeah.
Please do.
Please do.
But in her absence, we do have someone here.
We can't even call her a friend of the den. She is the den of the den.
Is the
Sade, sister of the den.
Right, manager.
Look, but Sade, I ain't gonna lie. Sade act like she was nervous, y'all. But Sade do this, okay?
No.
Like she do this on a regular. This is her life.
Yes.
Sweating bullets.
Not bullets.
She's not fooling us by far. Okay, so y'all, let's get into it. So this episode is breaking generational cycles.
That's deep.
It is
It
deep.
is.
It's very deep.
Talk about
It is deep. We're not gonna beat on the surface.
Let's
either.
do it.
One of the major keys of cycles that I feel is dysfunctional families. I mean, when y'all think about it, we grow up and you grow up in your family, right? With your family. Regardless if it's street related, home related, school related, it's still your family.
Yes.
No matter where how about you take it. Y'all, we have little papers in front of us. I can't see them, but
Can we show you?
on here,
Cheat sheet.
it kind of it's basically every family is dysfunctional, and just recognizing your role a part of being dysfunctional. I feel that every family has a dysfunctional family. Do y'all agree with that?
I agree.
Yep.
Even the ones that seem like every family has their problems. And stuff.
Exactly. On here, I know who I am. I know it's like the hero, the enabler, the scapegoat, the lost child, the mascot, and I'll let them finish reading the rest. I am the enabler of my family. First of all.
I'm just saying.
I didn't know if it was ad-libbed.
I'm a hush.
Okay. Thank you.
What's
All
a enabler?
Yeah.
It's the family peacemaker who feels responsible for everyone's emotions and well-being. I do carry that. Like, I don't like my family being out of whack. And when I say my family, my immediate family. I just feel like when we all into it, Let's not do that. Let's talk about it. Let's see what we can do to fix it. Because it throws me off. I don't like bad energy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like let's keep that positive energy flowing through here. But my family is really good on talking about it. We're really good on talking about it, discussing it, and releasing that.
Yeah.
Who are y'all?
I'm definitely the lost child or the loner.
Yep.
I read this in the first line. It says, the lost child is also a performer. However, his philosophy is disappear and don't cause trouble. That's me.
Yeah.
I'll
It
stop
said don't cause trouble.
Yeah.
And they need to add trouble in there.
She
Take the don't.
will get the fuck on.
Will. I'm going to disappear.
Disappear.
Real quick.
Yep. Yep.
You know what?
Have you
Out
talked
of
to
all
Shan?
the things that's on here, I can put myself out in a lot of these categories. But I'm a pick the manipulator. But I wouldn't necessarily call that a bad thing. Okay, it says the manipulator is the clever controller in the family, the one who instinctively knows how to use any and every trick to assure that he will get what he wants. Now, when I see things going one way and I know that it'll work better the other way, I try to control the situation to manipulate it to make y'all think
You
that.
said that.
Right, to make y'all think we're
Last
going this way,
episode.
but we
Right.
really went this
She
way.
did.
Yeah.
I believe it.
See, it's not really a bad thing.
Okay.
Sade, who you? On your paper, you got the hero.
I mean, I personally feel like I'm the hero because with my immediate family, I care. I care so much, and I want to save the day. So I care about what they're doing, where they're at, how they, their mind is, how the kids doing.
Yeah.
You sure
And
do.
then with that is the doer. So I'm the overachiever. I'm the
Yeah.
responsible one. I'm the one that people call on. I'm the one that people like, oh, should I?
As soon as somebody call you, be like, where you at? I'm on my way.
yes, exactly. Yep.
Yeah, I can see that.
And I love how the doer says overstressed.
It fits.
Yeah.
You take on all of that, it definitely fits.
Yeah, it's stressing.
You take on a
Stressful.
lot,
It's
don't you?
stressful. I take on a lot. It's stressful.
You do it for the lipstick then too. I think that's you as well
Yeah.
for the lipstick then.
Maybe it's just my DNA.
You know what, girl,
That's her,
just put
Dana.
a star next to
Right. That's
Everything.
So, but just to kind of give y'all like an overall little definition of dysfunctional family, it's a family system that fails to meet the needs of its members in a way that's healthy or nurturing. So just, in our households, we were always taught that what's going on in this house stays in this house.
Yeah.
A lot of, in our culture, we didn't believe in going to see counseling, or they tell you to resort in something else to talk about your problems.
Yeah.
And I don't think that that's always the right way to fix a situation. Do y'all agree, disagree? Which
I agree.
I agree.
I mean,
You always used to tell me, still to this day, I think everyone should see a counselor. And I'd be telling my friends that my sister said, and I believe with her, everybody should see a counselor. It's really beneficial.
I mean, don't get me wrong, counseling's not going to work for everybody. But in my situation and from what I've seen from the people I did refer to counseling, it worked for them too.
It's necessary.
It's just someone to listen to you and talk to and just release all of this you've been holding in so much,
I mean, I don't want to go race, but some cultures don't believe in counseling. They have that saying, what happens in this house stays in this house. And I don't agree with that.
Sometimes, like, not since back in the day, because even to this day, you would go to an elder in your family and you would get advice from them. But if they're, let's use abuse. If they're coming from an abusive situation and they're still in the abusive situation, now you in one, they're trying to advise you. How you advising me to get out of something that you're still in?
Right. Because, that's hush hush.
Exactly. And they don't want you to tell nobody.
Yeah. And that's not right.
Yeah.
And that's the issue. Especially in
the
the black culture.
cycle.
It's a cycle. Yeah.
that keeps repeating
And then
itself.
sometimes it's kind of like enabling because they sit there. They might be on this list.
Just might.
Because they'd be like, yeah, tell me all your problems. Your uncle went through that or, your mama went through that, but you have to just deal with it.
Yeah.
Be strong, pray, have faith.
You know what?
But
It's
there is
funny you
no
said that.
answer.
Like I heard you mention uncle and then dysfunctional family in my head. It was like every friend that I have had a male family member do sexual things to them, and then the family kept it as secret because they didn't want it to be an embarrassing or other people to know. But it's something that kind of trickled down, and that's definitely a dysfunctional.
It's a cycle that needs to be broken.
Definitely.
I totally agree with that. I mean, because it's not right. But some key things that I did see that I felt like it was useful to start doing with your families, I found it on the, what is this, New Dimensions Day Hospital.com. It was just 4 things: honesty, communication, flexibility, and intimacy.
And those are the ways we can break the cycle.
Break the cycle. Just sit down, have a conversation. Let them know they're not alone. And sometimes it's not okay to keep it a secret. It's okay to address the situation and talk about it. Being more flexible, understanding, making your time more available for your child or your partner or whoever else in your household needs. It's not always just about you. Don't be so selfish. Intimacy. Say I love you. What's wrong with saying I love you? You know, I've seen a lot of people grow up with not being told by their parent that I love you. Or giving them a hug. That feeling you need.
You know what? I was talking to my mom about that. I was like, one of the reasons I learned that it was hard for me to be affectionate, not with my children, because it kind of comes, I guess it's motherly, and I knew what I was missing, is because when we was growing up, she didn't really hug us much. She'd tell us she loved us, and she'd kiss us, but the hugging was there, but that's because she didn't get it from her mother.
Yeah.
So my way of breaking that generational cycle was to do it with my kids. I tell them every day, encourage them every day, give them hugs every day. She do it as an adult, but as a child, she really didn't do it because her mother, she lived with her grandmother. Yeah. She didn't get that from her mother.
So that was her way of.
That's the way,
That was her way.
That's breaking the cycle.
It is breaking the cycle.
Yep, you breaking the cycle.
One thing I feel like when it comes to breaking cycles is having accountability.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you have a family member that is the doer, that doesn't mean that you can abuse the doer.
Right.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And if you have
That's
the
true.
one that's a lost child, that don't mean that you have to talk about that lost child.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I also feel like generational curses is kind of like, how can you be accountable and not take advantage of everyone on this list?
Definitely,
The
I agree.
hero, okay, my big bro, he gonna come save the day.
You know that.
Even though I'm getting beat on,
Right.
he gonna come through the house and then what if he gets shot?
Right.
Yeah.
Because you know he the hero.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think that's a huge issue.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that is a big one.
Yeah.
I agree.
Or you talk negative about a member of the family, but yet you may go to them from other things. I don't know. It's just a lot of accountability.
Definitely self-accountability.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Within this is a question. Who do you feel is responsible for? Because I feel like I said, I feel like every family is dysfunctional in its own way. Right? Regardless if it's negative or positive, it's still dysfunctional in its own way. Who do you feel is responsible for it? The mom, the dad, the kids, or everybody?
Like the way that it started, the way it's going, or breaking it. You know what I'm saying?
For it to start, and who's responsible to break it?
The parents.
The parents.
The
Who's
parents.
breaking it?
I
Parents for sure.
definitely agree. The parents.
Parents. up until the kids reach a certain age.
And they know.
And it's up to you to teach your child, okay, now you're being opened up to things at school. Now you have to take accountability. Don't take advantage of that friend because that friend has money. And, you have to teach them.
It's the things that you instill to them.
Exactly. Exactly.
Because I've always heard the word too, I don't want my child to be raised up like I was raised, you know? But are you really breaking that cycle, or are you still continuing? You just tell yourself that because
But
it
you
sounds
still,
good.
but your actions
But
are
you're
the
still
same.
doing the same thing.
It sounds good. From what I've witnessed personally, it sounds good, but they may not be doing it. Like, I know a lot of people my age that probably grew up poor. They didn't really have nothing. They probably come from the hood. So they buy their kids all of this name brand fashion, but they talk to them like shit.
Yeah.
Like they cussing them out, calling them all kinds of names. And it's like, you buying them all these clothes, but look at emotionally how you're like damaging
Abusing
them.
them. Yeah.
Right. So for you to say, I don't want them to, you know what I'm saying, experience what I did or get what I did. And it's like, you're really not breaking anything.
We in
Message.
Like, honestly, I'm doing it in my family. I mean, even though I'm the doer, I had to cut back. Because at one point, I knew I was being taken advantage of. Or it was just getting too much.
Yeah.
Were you being taken advantage of, or do you feel like you was enabling it?
Or enabling.
Both?
Yeah. Both.
How do you guys feel about stepping out? Like, when I realized that I couldn't break the cycle in my family, I made myself the loner. I just detached myself and decided I was going to build my family on what platform I wanted to do, my new foundation. When I become the grandmother, when I become the great grandma, I want to build my own cycle. How do you guys feel about sometimes
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
Nothing's as long as you do it in a healthy way.
Yeah,
I'm about to say it's healthy. I mean, you're really teaching them to be self-defended at the same time.
exactly.
Yeah.
So for me, I don't see nothing wrong with that.
Me neither.
because sometimes I be like, you want your kids to have that family foundation, but it
Not if it's toxic, not if it's unhealthy. Then it's like,
Yeah.
what's the point?
But you need them
And
to
they
learn.
know. Family knows.
they know.
Yeah.
Family knows.
They
When
really
taking
do.
a break.
But
You
they
got that
have
one
to-
auntie that be on your Facebook. I ain't talked to
I
you.
ain't heard you in
now
a
you
while.
know.
You know why?
Exactly.
Don't fool with you.
But you have to teach them to know how to handle the situation when it comes to them.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
you're teaching them at the same
Can
time.
you be honest enough to let them know when they reach out to you? That's the thing.
It's not really being honest to letting them know. It's about my delivery that I'm working on. Hey, I'm working on it.
You working on it. That's all that
That's all you
matters.
can do.
That's all that matters.
It's work.
So outside of family or being dysfunctional, families being dysfunctional as far as curses and cycles, not curses, same thing, but I feel like another one is money.
Yeah.
I feel like pretty much like a lot of black children continuously inherit like debt from their parents. And I can speak for me, honestly, I didn't know shit about credit. I didn't have no money managing skills. I didn't know how to save. I didn't know how to budget. I literally kind of just got out there and it was like, oop. All right,
Spending money left and right.
Yeah, spending money left and right, paying everything all in one lump sum, then being broke. And I'm 26 and like I'm just now kind of like learning these things, but on my own, like I pretty much had to go through it. And I feel like that's one thing, especially within the black community. And I'm saying black because I am black. Most people around me are black, and this is just what I witness. A lot of people in the black community don't know anything about finances.
shaking our heads.
We're
Yeah.
very
Look,
No, I agree. I learned the
Yeah.
same way. I didn't learn until I was out on my own. I had to
You
go
had to
through some
experience
things.
it. Yep.
And no lie, eviction happened. Yeah.
All of that.
I mean, all because I was living wanted to live a lavish life, but really I wasn't taking care of responsibilities.
True. Not knowing
what
how to manage your money.
Can I just go on a Tarrant? Is that what it's called? Rampage?
Rant.
Okay.
Rant.
All of it in the book.
Yes.
Okay.
All of those.
Because I feel like one thing that the black community does is they want you to figure it out on your own.
Yes.
Oh,
Educating
she
each
got it.
other. Yes.
She got it now. You know, it's
don't do
like,
that.
but yeah.
it's like they
you
get the
have-
gym
but
and
yeah,
they
do
hold on
that.
to it.
Yeah.
And then you gotta beg them for it or
Right.
kiss their ass for it.
Right. But I look at other cultures, they all move in one house and they save up to get the other people another, their a family, another house. I'm
glad you said
they
that.
have
And they have the estates in everybody's name. Everybody's attached to
Yep.
it. Yeah.
Attitude, tempers. That's what I be thinking about. That's
Yeah.
probably why I feel like us in our community, we have attitude problems. And another woman
We do
living
have
with
a lot of
another.
attitude.
we do. We
Wake
don't
up, man.
listen.
Yeah.
We don't listen. We don't listen.
Yeah, and then you just hear I went home and there was a spoon in my sink. What? I don't like that spoon in my sink.
Oh, you're talking about living together.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that I feel like that's probably why where we need to just come together and
Let me
work
tell
together.
y'all, I tried it.
What you try?
I tried all my family to
How
live
you
in one
try?
house. I moved my sister-in-law in. I told my mom, and then it was my husband and my kids. And let me tell you,
What happened?
never in my life again.
Never again.
It was too many Chiefs and not enough Indians.
Exactly.
Overstood.
Well, if you want to go deep with it, we are supposed to be. We are
Chiefs.
kings and queens and chiefs.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are. We
But
are.
Okay.
unfortunately,
Don't try to cover the dysfunctional part.
Okay.
Okay.
She got to slide in and be like, technically.
that's what it is.
Look, enabler.
Yep. There we go.
Enabler.
Yeah, then we end up going our separate ways.
But essentially, when it comes to this cycle of debt within, again, I'm going to say black, I'm talking us, everybody, just if you feel like your family is just going through this repeated cycle of debt through generations and generations, it pretty much comes from the absence of healthy money management skills. Like Crystal said, not handling responsibilities. I can relate because sometimes I don't. Then it also comes from not enough access to wealth generating channels. That's just being illiterate when it comes to finances.
Yes.
Not knowing different ways that you could make money outside of having a job, working a 9 to 5. Then an unbalanced debt to income ratio.
Yeah.
Makes sense. All right. And then black, brown, whatever, even white if you feel like it, racial inequality.
Yeah.
And a lack of financial literacy. I mean, it all ties together, and all of this pretty much equals this cycle of poverty that's continuously repeated from generations to
You know what?
generations.
Just to go off of that, a lot of things that I learned, I had to reach out to my white friends.
I believe
I'm
it.
just saying. As far as I didn't know that I can add my daughter onto my credit card starting at the age of 16 to build her credit by the time she was 18, 19.
Yep.
Didn't know that. As far as getting my daughter a business in her name, getting her LLC in her name, and paying her out of her stuff. So to give, I didn't learn that from. I think a lot of reason why we don't prosper as well is because we are too into ourselves and too our egos are in the way, and we embarrass to ask somebody versus just speaking to someone
Or doing research.
Definitely.
Okay, because not
I'm listening.
Or some research.
Look.
education.
Yes.
Is the answer.
Yes.
And you got YouTube, you got
For
Google.
real.
There's no reason why you
ain't
have
no-
to go to
There's no reason to go to.
the white man.
Okay.
You don't have to go to the white man. You know what I'm saying?
But Google
That's
and
just honest.
YouTube.
But I know you're being honest. I know you're being honest.
Yeah.
But for all our viewers, you don't have to go to a certain race. You
To
better
get
go
that,
educate
yeah.
yourself.
Educate yourself.
But some people don't know how to
But I know what you're saying. I see what you're
self-educate.
saying.
Right.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
So the best thing they
Google
know how
don't
to
tell
do
you how
To
you gonna
look and
feel or
see
how
who's
to
around
finesse.
you. Yeah, and ask.
It don't tell
I
you how to
think that-
finesse.
Yes, they do.
Oh, I didn't see that.
What
on
kind of
Google.
finesse? Yes, they do.
But you also have to know what to look for. If you don't know what
Yeah.
you're looking for, but yes,
But
you're
I
right.
agree.
But
Yes.
black
I
folks,
agree.
we can Google everything.
We can, because
Yeah.
I can Google some lyrics.
Yes.
Come on.
I can Google some lyrics.
But see, that's the thing with education
Yeah.
is that my father is an IT engineer. My mother is an RN. They're both educated. Now, I don't have a degree, and I'm a little upset about that.
Why?
Because you don't feel like they pushed you like they pushed yourself.
Yeah, and I live in 2020, 19, 18, 17, and I'm 33. And that's why I love education. I think education is imperative.
But a lot of people don't have education.
Education.
And very wealthy.
When you say education, are you talking about K through 12 education?
Or
If-
you mean in
But you know what? If they're wealthy, if they're successful, they self-educated.
I agree.
That's what
they
I was
learn
saying.
something.
That's what I was
educate.
saying.
so I wanted to know which
Yeah.
education
Yeah,
you
'cause
was
that's
speaking
what-
on.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
And maybe they self-educated because they didn't have parents with degrees. All I'm saying is,
As a whole.
as a whole, with other cultures and other races, they would never let their kids go without a degree if they have one. Now, me and Ryan had a little debate, so I'm ready to hear it all.
Okay. Because when I was saying that to go ask the people that I went and asked, their parents are wealthy and don't have degrees. But and they didn't have to Google it. They just asked.
Yeah.
Say it
So
again.
why we can't just go
She said repeat
ask each
yourself.
other?
That ties into breaking the cycles.
Yeah, but that's what we was going into. We always have to work so hard to get what we want, but other cultures just here's the gems. But we always
They
got
show
It just roll out like this. It's blue,
It do.
blue.
It's right there.
Yeah.
Get
that's
it.
just
Well, and I think the thing is that when I looked it up on Wikipedia, because I looked it up.
Wiki.
Because you know me, I'm like, if there's an issue, where did the problem start?
Okay.
So, of course, it's not that us as black people, we always say we were slaves and we were brought here. Whatever.
Right.
But facts is facts.
Facts
And
is
in
facts.
Atlanta, you couldn't
Yeah.
be a damn firefighter in the 1960s.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's just facts.
That's factual.
Right.
Right.
So the first graduates to the state of Alabama, the University of Alabama, it was in 1964.
That wasn't that long ago.
Not long ago at all. So that kind of helped me feel a little bit better because I'm like, well, mom and dad, they did love me. My dad did say, you pregnant, what you gonna do now? I said, I'll be a hairstylist. So I mean,
she gave you options.
Exactly. She put it in your face.
And they moved me, from San Antonio to Frisco.
So they set you up to do what you
Yeah,
wanted to do.
but-
So they supported you still.
Yeah, in some kind of way.
In the way that they knew how to.
Right. Okay.
Which maybe causes for the generational issues that we may have,
I agree.
So
And then
I
we
love
need
you,
to be
mom
better
and
ones.
dad. I'm on TV.
Oh my gosh.
Mama, we made it. So pretty much a lot of some things that y'all were saying ties into breaking the cycle of this inherited poverty that you may feel like you've inherited. I sometimes feel like I got it, but I'm gonna break it. We gonna break it. We are gonna break it.
We are gonna break it.
But yes, the first one was becoming financially literate. Understanding how money works first and foremost. Understanding different investment options, ways to invest your money, to grow your money.
Question. I know that earlier y'all was saying that talking about black women and black men and us, our culture and black, right? Why is it that black women are against black women so heavy right now?
That's a generational issue too.
That is a generation.
You know what? That was actually what one of our guests, friend of the Dan Christian, said last time when he was here. Mr. Christian. Mr.
Christian.
Sorry. There's some respect on his name.
Yes.
He was saying how he was commending us on how well we work together, how our energy bounced off of each other. He was like, a lot of other black women that I'm around, it's not there. They're either talking about each other or hating on each other, or they're not coming to each other or bringing each other up. They're tearing each other down. He was like, I commend you guys on that.
Yeah.
So that's actually a way of us breaking the cycle.
We're showing the new way to do it.
Yeah. I agree.
Because I know when we walk into places, and y'all feel it, we're always stared at, right?
Yeah.
Why is you looking at me?
Right, the attention is all on us.
Do that now.
Can't.
Right,
I just be looking.
I noticed that.
hate it.
I do too, but at the same time, I notice how we always embrace it.
We do. It's
Even
never.
if they're looking and they're staring, we go give them a hug. How you
We
doing?
do. We smile and everything. But it is genuine.
I feel like when we do it, it makes it worse. Befriending me.
I think that I honestly feel like that cycle of women not getting along comes from the cycle of not enough women, moms, like instilling a sense of security within their daughters.
Yeah.
Especially in the black household, it's almost like a competition sometimes.
It is.
I've got on Facebook a few times and seen videos of little girls letting their moms know that their boyfriend might have touched them or been looking at them, and the mama going off. And that's just one example. I mean, there's more in other ways, but it's like within the black community, women are just...
I have one.
What is it?
One mother told their child when they were walking in the store that they were jealous of them because they're getting more attention than she was.
The mama told the daughter.
The mother told the daughter that she was jealous.
You jealous because I'm
Because
her daughter?
Because her preteen
Was getting more attention than her.
more
Than the mother.
than the mother.
Oh, no.
So you jealous of your own child.
Yeah. And that's real life.
That's real.
Yeah.
It is.
So-
I know a few mothers that's jealous of their child.
How can we educate the mothers out there who are jealous of their children?
That's deeper. That's some
The only education I can give you is counseling.
Definitely. Because why you jealous of your
It's like you need to go to counseling because
Yeah.
I don't know if
I
that's
know.
your you.
No, for real.
Predator.
Honestly.
But that's you. Like that's you.
Exactly. Literally.
A mini you.
A mini. Literally.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Just her mindset to me. You know what I'm saying? Because I was with this child once, and a guy did that, and I looked at him like, nigga, what the
You looking at.
You know,
Yeah.
me and Ross, like,
Yeah.
she's you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
why would I
You
wouldn't
know
be like,
what?
oh my God, he's
I can honestly say, growing up in my city and my environment, even the household when it was sisters, the parents and the other family members trying to kind of put the sisters against each other. One would have prettier hair, or one would be smarter, or then when they separated, one would dress better. This one has a better job. This one's doing better because she works here, you work here, so she's better. So the competition started within the household of them competing with each other because who had more. And so, you having kids, all it is just trickling down. So sisterhood has to be taught. Yeah, like we said, starting at childhood, instilling
And
in them.
building it.
I have a answer. Maybe.
So what?
I'm listening.
Possibly.
You know, I just feel like when it comes to, I hate to go back there, but I don't. But at the end of the day, it has to do with segregation and slavery and the way that we were all cooped up together. We didn't have a lot of land to spread out in. It was a lot of fighting and it was a lot going on in a small area. Yeah. Like Atlanta, the only reason why they're thriving the way they is because now all they're spaced out. There's room to grow. In Dallas,
Everybody got their own
it's
lane.
so hard for me to buy with Dallas chicks.
It is.
And when I
find that
moved
too.
here, it was like, who are you? Why are you here?
Who you know?
So much stuff. You got in the street, everybody staring at you. You're like, damn, well, I'm from dope. You know, I'm like, okay, cool.
I'm happy you said that. As far as when it comes like back to seclusion or black people and this like sense of this ego that we live in, I'm going back to the financial cycle. Another way to break that is we have to look beyond our own prosperity. Because a lot of time it's like we get it. You could do hair, start selling lashes. I don't even see do hair. You could do hair, then somebody else start selling lashes, doing hair, and they'll be like, oh, so you want to sell lashes now?
Speaking of lashes, right? Just a question for y'all. Y'all already know I'm about to go. Thank you. There's a lady on Twitter that's kind of going viral right now, right? She is in nursing school, and she has a side business selling lashes. Within those lashes, she puts in those medicine bottles.
The medicine bottles about this size, y'all.
She trapping.
So, I mean,
Each name of the lashes. One of them is called Codeine Crazy.
Oh no, I'm finna finish.
The other lash is called Ganja.
Not ganja. Codeine Crazy. I mean, that's her husband.
No.
Is she wrong? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
I think she's being creative, but I ain't finna. I'm not. Because I feel like you're enabling. I get it. It's kind of cute, quirky, but would I do it? No. I just feel like that's kind of tacky.
It's a reach.
Yeah, I think that's kind of tacky.
You reaching for attention?
It's definitely a lane. I mean, depending on her audience, who she's selling to, and what's her environment.
She's just trying to be different.
I'm pretty sure it's 1,000 shares that think it's cute.
But in 2020, or 2019, it's all about what? Going viral to get the attention that you need to make your profit.
And then she can change it later.
She can always change it later, but she got the attention.
She got the content.
She definitely got the attention.
Now put her stuff out there now. You gonna put her Instagram and all that out?
Oh, we
don't know.
Sis with the pink medicine bottles.
Right.
Shout out. Do your thing.
As a matter of fact, we'll share it later.
We will. On asking for a friend.
Right.
But she's probably breaking a cycle within her own.
You never know.
That might be her other stream of income because that's another way.
Judge because she could be using that to pay to get school.
Not at all. You never know.
Let me shut up.
Never know. So that's another way to break the cycle is learning to get another stream of income outside of your 9 to 5.
She's doing something that's non-sexual,
Go sis.
like she's not selling her body, but she's
not.
selling lashes.
Percocets.
Hey, one day say perk 30.
Molly Percocet.
You know,
She's
B
putting it in
332.
to the lashes.
That lash probably got a good blink on it.
Hey,
Oh, they was cute.
They were. I believe it. Shout out.
guys
Shut
rolling
up.
with the Percocets. That's fine.
Ha. All right.
Okay, so y'all, we usually roll into a kiss and tell a little different, but we gonna freestyle a little bit. So, Dwayne Wade posted a picture of him, his son, and Gabrielle Union, and his son had on long white nails and a crop top. It was a big controversy. I think a lot of people had mixed feelings or said exactly how they felt. So I brought that up because I want to break generational cycles when it came to sexuality. I felt like within 2020, we have definitely expanded within sexuality, and we are very much more comfortable. But how do you guys feel about that situation, that the picture that he uploaded? How do you guys feel about that?
As far as
His son is only 11 years old. He has on a crop top, and his nails are long, and he's gay. And a lot of people do not feel that he should promote him.
yeah,
Promote his sexuality.
yeah.
How do you guys feel on that when it comes to breaking generational cycles?
Should they?
It's a deep question.
Right. What was the question?
So, when it comes to sexuality and breaking generational curses, how do you guys feel about like
Embrace it.
I'm gonna give an example.
Yeah.
I already have an answer in my head.
I applaud him
you
for
know what you're saying?
embracing
I know
his
what you're
child.
saying.
Okay.
You finna go ahead.
I do because
okay
I
for
feel
that.
like generational cycle is all the pastors out there. I love y'all. I love Wandas Potter's house. I'm faithful Cheryl Brady.
She giving shout
Pastor
out,
Cheryl
y'all.
Brady. You know, I'm just like I praise dance. I'm feeding the Ramsey. Shout out to the hey.
Shout out to the Ramsey.
I praise this.
I
We did too, it's
I
okay.
feel like that was a generational issue. A lot of it was you know, that's of the devil. That's, you know, seclude yourself from them. Don't, even though it's family, you know, that's not right. That's a spirit.
That's
you know,
evil
that's all
to
that.
me.
And that stuff is kind of taught to you. So then when you grow up and you look at it, you doing it too. Like, you like, oh my God, the devil, you know.
Yes.
It's goes back to the educational part. It's like, so to answer your question, I feel like I love how things are going nowadays, and I just have to educate myself. I have to reprogram the way I think. I have to not become, I feel like I was a little bit ignorant. And I think I even hurt a lot of people because I had a lot of opinions on it too.
I mean, for me, I'm a lesbian. I came out in high school. My mama knew about it. Could she have reacted a different way? Yes. Yeah, she definitely could have. But for her, she said, that's not for me to judge. That's for God to judge. So if that's who you are, you're still my child. I still love you. There's certain things that I can't accept for myself. But as far as you being my child, I would never shut the door on you. I would never tell you you can't bring them over. I would never make you feel like you're not welcome. And then my sister did the same thing. Both of y'all here. So when I met you, Sade,
Didn't I have questions?
You had questions, but you didn't shut the door on me.
Exactly. No, but I had questions.
I want to know.
And I love that though, because I was coming out of something. You know what I'm saying? And what better way to get an understanding
Than for somebody
but
that
to
next to you
talk
that
to
you love.
someone. You know,
Exactly.
talk to somebody.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
Dysfunctional families having a conversation.
Exactly.
Honesty, trust.
Being open.
So that was your
Being
way
more
of breaking
open.
your generational cycle,
Amen.
communicating.
Yeah.
God.
Very much so. So I don't think nothing was.
God.
Yeah. No. I mean.
I don't think nothing's wrong with the young man dressing up. I just feel like there's an organic lane and then there's extreme social media lane.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you,
Agreed.
I'm kind of over it.
I agree.
Like I love the communities, I love everybody, you know. But to me, does it seem kind of forced, like pushed up on us a little bit? And you know, I just feel like
Did you say he had nails on?
Yes.
I wouldn't
Okay.
let my 11-year-old daughter wear nails. So
That's where
I
I
wouldn't.
from.
I definitely.
was like, my 11-year-old
yeah.
girl is not wearing crop tops. with nails.
Exactly.
But then I had to think about the lane we're in and the lane
Okay,
Dwayne Wayne
so
is
rich
in.
people do rich people things.
they sure
I'm
do.
just saying.
Will Jada?
Kaylee,
I don't care if
how
I'm
much-
rich.
Do you hear me? Take that off.
Let a Naja Naomi walk in with some nails stuff.
But I think because on the platform
knock
that
him off
he's
the
on,
table.
that he's trying to send a message. Just because on the platform he's on, he was trying to
Yeah.
send a message because everybody's trying to feel accepted. But he's
I
like,
get
hey,
it,
y'all,
but it was
we're
a
here.
real flamboyant
Right.
message.
How old is the boy?
Yeah,
How old is the boy?
11.
to be 11.
I don't know, girl, boy.
11 or 12. Hold on.
Okay.
Yeah.
11, 12.
Yeah.
I think
Too
that's
young.
just too young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Either way,
You're not even a
gender.
teen.
It don't. Yeah, just too
13.
young.
You're
The
not even
appearance.
teen
Yeah,
yet.
you're not even
Like,
teen
no.
But the way he embraces his son, I love it. Like he doesn't hide him or yeah.
I think another
too
reason
young.
why breaking generational cycles when it comes to sexuality is very important because I actually had a cousin. He was gay. He was from the age of like 5 or 6 we knew, you know. And so, but his dad just treated him so bad. And so when he came 16 or running away, moving to Atlanta, just, you know, trying to make a way. And he ended up contracting AIDS because he was uneducated.
He didn't. Yeah.
And if he would have had it detected, he had somebody to love on him and was checking on him. But he ended up passing away because nobody embraced him. You know what I'm saying? So that's the way to break generational cycles is communicating and understand that even though whatever their sexuality is, they still need love.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
Stop trying to control it. You know, just
Yeah.
let them be
You
them.
can't.
Like, I noticed that when you try to control somebody and do it because you want them to do it the way you want them to do it, it backfires.
It definitely does.
So just allow them to be free. You never know. Maybe that may not be how they're going to turn out. Maybe it's just a phase.
It
you know,
definitely could
finding
be.
themselves.
Yeah.
And if it is, you cannot beat gay or lesbian out your kids. You can't do that.
No, for real.
You can't.
You cannot
Yeah.
do that. It's not right.
It's unfortunate.
That kind of shit really pisses me off.
Yeah, I felt the emotion.
I know.
All right, you guys, we got real deep on this one.
We did, but I felt like it was needed, much so.
It was
is.
needed. I hope y'all caught some gems out of it.
Yeah,
Yes.
me too. Let us guys make sure you guys comment and let us know.
Talk to me.
Talk to me. We like to talk. We
Really
like to be talked
wanna
to.
hear
But
you.
before we end this show, you know,
We got a special. Hold on, wait a
Yo,
minute. Hold on. Wait a minute.
birthday!
Go ahead, Crystal.
What happened? What happened?
It should be on Facebook Live.
It's your birthday. It's your birthday. Bad bitch contest. You in first place.
You in first place.
You in first. All right.
We extra.
It's my sister's birthday today. I don't got no, but yeah.
I made up the whole song. That should go.
I had some.
It's your birthday.
Since I saved it, and we finna cash out.
I like it. What's your cash app?
I like that.
It's your birthday. What's your cash app?
I like that sound.
Cash app, Crystal. Her birthday money.
Drop your cash out.
Right. What's your cash app?
Oh my gosh.
What? You don't know your cash
I
out? I don't know my nigga.
I don't know it.
She's getting it.
Oh, love my kisses. Mwah.
Love my kisses.
Love my kisses. Spelled out simple.
That's the exact sound it's gonna make too.
Yes.
Yep, that's what it's gonna say. Make that noise.
Yes.
Okay, guys. So we are coming to an end.
Ills.
I just have a real good closing word. Actually, I found it on roscoelily.org. And it said, today I commit. I commit to end a cycle that didn't begin with me. This will be multiplied in the lives of those who follow after me. This will be continued in a future me. Today, through the power of the Holy Spirit living within me, I take responsibility for my life and the life of my children and grandchildren. I will not live in bondage anymore. I will live in the power of restoration and the hope that God makes all things new.
Yes.
Amen.
I love that.
Educate.
Definitely.
Educate. Finances.
Educate yourself.
Yes.
No
Love your
excuses.
family.
Love
Yeah.
yourself.
Communication.
Definitely.
Accountability.
Accountability.
Yes.
Definitely self accountability.
Intimacy. Hug
That's
me.
a
Love
different-
on me.
I
kiss me,
love
hug
you.
Caress on
Yes.
me.
I love you.
No judgment.
The lipstick
Don't
man loves
judge.
everyone.
We do, y'all. Thank y'all
really
for
do.
tuning
All right,
in.
you guys.
too.
Thank you for tuning in.
That was real.
Remember that we are
The lipstick
lipstick
gang.
gang.
Mwah.